Introducing peaceful protester, Kelley.
Thank you, Ethan Hyatt. Hello, and welcome to my TV show on the YouTube network with a potential audience of over 2 billion people.
That's right, 2 billion people.
Coming to you live from the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, where I am peacefully protesting and advocating for the homeless here in Santa Monica. Santa Monica, and in Los Angeles County, and in California, and the whole US of A, the whole wide world, if we could do something about it, but we have to start somewhere, so we might as well start right here in Santa Monica, California. Dorian, can I give you a little something? How you doing today? Good. Things are good? People treating you all right? You're welcome. Good to see you, Dorian. Peace. That's right. We might as well start right here in Santa Monica, California, and tell our leaders right here in Santa Monica, you have to do a better job of standing up for human rights right here in California, right here in Santa Monica. You need to make sure that human beings that are poor aren't criminalized for being poor and homeless. Santa Monica, you've criminalized poverty and you've criminalized homelessness, and that is cruel and inhumane. And you need to change your ways, Santa Monica. That's why I'm running for Santa Monica City Council again this year, because Santa Monica has criminalized poverty while they have chose to perpetuate poverty, while they have chose to refuse to build affordable housing over and over, and they have blamed the poor for being poor, while they have pushed the poor people into jails and to programs down the road and blamed the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless, they've continued to make the problem worse. And we need to stand up and tell our leaders right here in Santa Monica, you have to be part of the solution, not part of the problem here in Santa Monica. That's right, Eddie. He's just doing his job. Let me get a little picture of this. I'll try not to get Andre in the shot, but you know, they're doing their job. They have to lock up the chairs every night here in Santa Monica. They're not afraid of people stealing the chairs. If they were, they'd just lock up the chairs so that nobody could steal them. But instead, they lock them up so nobody can sit on them because they don't want poor people having a safe, a comfortable place to sit during the night. They only want those chairs out for rich people and tourists here in Santa Monica. And I know, Andre, you're just doing your job, but we need to keep speaking out against such cruelty, such inhumanity, because Santa Monica has a no-sit, no-lie law. That's right. They have a law here in Santa Monica against sitting and lying in many public places, like right here. They can prosecute people for sitting on the curbs right here on the promenade. The only exceptions are the topiaries that they have here. If you're sitting on the concrete slabs and around the topiaries, those are exempt from the no sitting, no lying law. But you see, they lock up the chairs at night just to make it harder for these homeless people to be able to comply with the laws. But I don't want you to worry about sitting on the curb. They probably won't bother you while I'm here, but they will come and bother people just for sitting on the curb here in Santa Monica. They'll say, you can't sit there. We'll give you a citation because we have a no sitting, no lying law here in Santa Monica. And some of these city council members like Lana Negrete, she cheers that they have a no sitting, no lying law here in Santa Monica. She said, we're happy that they're, hey, what do you mean? Hey. And now she cheers that they are prosecuting the no sitting, no lying law. She says she's happy about that. And that is cruel and inhumane. We got to speak up and stand up against such cruelty, such inhumanity. We have to stand up for the rights of human beings to be able to thrive and survive in this richest, most powerful country in the whole wide world. We have done a very good job of being kind to the greedy in this country. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. Today, they broke records on Wall Street again. They're breaking records on Wall Street week after week here in this country. But the poor people, they don't have a lot of money in Wall Street. My homeless friends don't have a lot of money in Wall Street right now. They're not making a lot of money off the New York Stock Exchange. They're just being forced out into the streets because rents are getting higher and they're making it harder for poor people to survive in this country. And we have to speak out and stand up against such cruelty, such inhumanity. Tell our leaders, let's be part of the solution. Let's build affordable housing. Let's have safe spaces for the homeless human beings to put up a tent or to have a sleeping bag at night. Safe spaces for them to sleep and, secure public restrooms for them to go to the restroom in the middle of the night. And, thank you very much, Eddie Murphy. Good to meet you. You be safe out there. Peace. That's right. And showers. They need secure public restrooms and secure showers so that they can clean themselves. At all of these public restrooms here in Santa Monica, if a homeless person is shaving or brushing their teeth, somebody will say to them, this restroom is not for grooming. They're putting these people out in the streets because we don't have enough housing or shelter beds. And they're trying to harass these people for taking care of their basic bodily functions and their basic human needs. We need to have more secure 24-hour restrooms in Santa Monica, safe spaces for homeless human beings to pitch a tent or to sleep until we have enough affordable housing. And we have to start building some affordable housing because we haven't done it yet. We keep putting it off. We keep pushing it down the road. And we need to stand up for human rights. Because we need to celebrate our poor people as well as our rich people in this country. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways that we can be. Let's celebrate love and life. Let's celebrate every day that we can stay away from war and strife. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Let me clear your bed. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways that we can be. Let's celebrate all the different ways we can see the world. Let's celebrate all our lovely boys and girls. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. We got a full moon tonight. Beautiful moon here in Santa Monica. Beautiful night to be standing up for human rights. Speaking out for the rights of human beings to thrive and survive in this richest, most powerful country in the world. in this fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, California, in this very wealthy city of Santa Monica. We need to stand up for the rights of every human being to be able to just survive without being punished for being poor and punished for being homeless. We need to stand up for their rights. Speak out. Speak up. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate Trey. That's right. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you, Trey. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways that we can be. Let's celebrate love and life. Let's celebrate every day that we can stay away from war and strife. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Hey, hey. That's right. We got to celebrate making things better for human beings, standing up for human rights. That ain't too much to ask in the richest, most powerful country in the world, in a country where we all have the rights to stand up and speak out and get involved. Everybody has the right to speak their mind in this country, and we need to use that right over and over, again and again, until things get better. You know, I watched that movie Lincoln again last night about Abraham Lincoln. Steven Spielberg wrote it, or directed it, and it's a fantastic movie. And it shows that this country has struggled a lot to keep moving forward. We've had to overcome a lot of problems that were in our country at the very beginning. You know, when our Constitution was first written, it only benefited rich white guys who owned property. That's right. They were the only ones who could benefit from our Constitution, because there were a lot of people that were slaves in this country when this country was first formed. And it took almost 100 years for us to overcome slavery in this country. It wasn't until 1900 that we passed laws that said that children could have a childhood without having to work all through their lives. It wasn't until 1920 that women had the right to vote. Women were given the right to vote in 1920 in this country. It wasn't until 1924 that Native Americans were able to become citizens in this country. That's right, the national law to make Native American citizens in this country didn't come until 1924. That's why when people talk about these immigrants, these 20 million people or more that came into our country, they didn't come in legally. Well, they've been here for generations, some of them. And they came in because our country brought them in to do labor, and they wanted to take advantage of people's labor without giving them the rights of citizens. That's what happened. Same thing happened over and over throughout the history of this country. A lot of rich people wanted to take advantage of poor people and not give them the rights of citizens. So we need our leaders, we need our Congress to step up. When we get a new Congress, we need our Congress to step up and pass a comprehensive immigration bill and find a pathway to citizenship for these 20 million people that have been living in the shadows and been used for their labor for generations and not been given their rights. We need to stand up for their rights to have a pathway to citizenship, because that's a lot of people working in our country that can't take part in our democracy because they've been kept out of becoming citizens. Because we had quotas with certain countries that said, no, we don't want too many people from that country because those people look like this or those people look like that. And that's why we have those quotas in place for those different countries. And that's why we need a comprehensive immigration bill that will help find a pathway to citizenship for all of these tens of millions of people that have been left in the shadows, that have been used for their labor and not been given their rights. We need to speak up, peacefully protest. Don't try and have violence with any of the authorities. Don't try to promote violence. We need to peacefully protest, but we need to keep speaking up for equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. De la Sierra Moreno, cielito lindo, vienen bajando. Un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo, de contrabando. Ese lunar que tiene, cielito lindo, junto a la boca. No se lo des a nadie, cielito lindo, que a mí me toca. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Ay, 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 cantando llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. This land is your land. This land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Ay, 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 ay. Cantando llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Ay, ay, ay. Cantando llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. That's right, one more time, everybody sing along. Here we go, 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 go. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Ay, 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 ay. Cantando llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Let's work to make sure this land is made for you and me. Woo! That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day because we haven't gotten there yet. We got to keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. We need to keep lifting people out of poverty in this country because we haven't gotten rid of racism yet in this country. We got to keep working on it right here in Santa Monica. We need to be integrating our society here instead of segregating by pushing all the poor people out. Because when you push all the poor people out, you push out a lot of people of color. That's the way it is. California is still 10 times more likely to put a young black man into prison than a young white man. 10 times more likely. And it is many times more likely for a young Hispanic or Latino man to be put in prison than a young white man. And that's just a shame. We have to keep integrating our society. We have to keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. And we have to keep spending money on public schools on public education because we haven't gotten to a place where everybody can have a great education no matter where you are in California. 40% of our public schools in California have 90% of our students of color. Let me say that again. 40% of the schools in California, of the public schools in California, have 90% of all the students of color. And the other 60% of the schools have only 10% of the students of color. That's a great imbalance, wouldn't you say? We still have to work on integrating our society. Because if you've got 40% of the schools having 90% of the students of color, you haven't integrated your state. You got a lot of pockets of minorities or majorities, and you have a lot of pockets of just white people. And that's why here in Santa Monica, how you doing, Ali? Good to see you. Here in Santa Monica, we're right next to our public beaches. We have 800 miles of public beaches here in California, and mostly rich white people living next to our public beaches. Why is that? That's not the way it should be. It doesn't have to be that way. We let the rich people take over and push all the poor people down the road. And when you push all the poor people down the road, you push a lot of people of color down the road. And that's why we have segregation along the coast. We have to keep working to integrate. That's why Santa Monica needs to build more affordable housing. Santa Monica, you need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. For generations now, Santa Monica has refused to build affordable housing. In 1970, the population of Santa Monica was 88,000. Here we are in 2026, and the population of Santa Monica is just over 90,000. So while the rest of California grew by 20 million people, Santa Monica grew by just over 2,000. That's a shame. That's a crime. They said, we got ours. Now you people stay out. You people stay out. We don't need any poor people in our city. That's what they said. And of course, they pushed a lot of people of color down the road. Pushed them further out into the desert, where it's harder for people to survive, especially if we continue to have a climate crisis and things get warmer and warmer. Tonight, it ain't so bad. I don't mind. Hey, it's never that bad here in Santa Monica. You know, if you believe the climate scientists, they say things are going to get hotter and hotter, and we need to build more housing next to our Pacific Ocean, because the temperature is going to be cooler for human beings, and the air quality is going to be better for human beings next to our Pacific Ocean as time goes on. So we need to build more affordable housing for human beings right here in Santa Monica. And we need to start building affordable housing. We need to make sure we build some housing for those people that work in the city of Santa Monica and other coastal communities, so they don't have to travel so far to get to their jobs, and so they can be a part of our democracy right here in Santa Monica. So it's not so much of an oligarchy as it is right now. I'm running for Santa Monica City Council, and I'm homeless. I'm a homeless human being, and I'm a senior on a fixed income. I get Social Security and a little of that pension from that Actors Equity when I did some plays early on. And, you know, I make poverty level. I make just around $12,000 a year. And I am running for Santa Monica City Council because I want all poor people and homeless people to know that you can be part of your democracy. You don't have to leave everything up to the rich and the powerful. We can take part in our democracy and speak out, use your voices, use your votes. Don't let them say that you don't have any right to be part of a democracy because you don't have any money or because you don't have a job or a place to live. Don't let them do that. That's right. They will try to make homeless people think that they shouldn't have a right to be part of our democracy because they don't have a steady address or because they don't have any money. We need to keep telling our public servants that they need to keep finding room for the poor and those that are disenfranchised, those who don't have a big voice in our democracy. We need to get them involved in our democracy. We need to have more programs to help them speak out. We have too many people blaming the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless and saying that they shouldn't be part of our society because they have problems. You know, a lot of people in this country have problems, but they don't show so much because they have a place to live. A lot of people with problems, if they had to live on the streets every day, their problems would show up a lot bigger. And that's why these people that say, oh, all these homeless people are just mentally ill or they're drug addicts. Well, you know, we have a lot of people that live in this country that are drug addicts, but a lot of them have a decent place to live, so it doesn't show as much. And we have a lot of people that have mental disabilities in this country. But when you live on the streets, your mental disabilities show up a little more than if you have a place to live. So we need to build more affordable housing. Tell your leaders. That's great. Thank you, Peace. That's right. We need to keep getting our young people involved and making positive change for the future. Because we have too many of our leaders kowtowing to the rich and the powerful. And we need them to stand up for the human beings that don't have a big voice in our democracy. Too many of our leaders are blaming the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless. And we need to speak out against such cruelty, such inhumanity. Too many of our leaders say, don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor at all. We'll pull the chair beneath your seat and mock you when you fall. Or better yet, they'll lock the chair up. They'll lock the chair up so you don't have a seat. That's right. And they'll mock you when you fall. They'll tell you that you're crazy and you're on the drugs. They'll say you're mostly lazy and you're filled with bugs. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. That's what they say. We got to tell those leaders. You got to stand up for the homeless people instead of blaming them for being poor and homeless. As you've brought on this predicament, as you brought on the situation that we have where we don't have enough affordable housing. But too many of our leaders blame the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless. They say, don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and sick. They'll put you in the hospital and spit you out real quick. They'll tell you, they'll say you need to eat more, change the way you rest. Let's try that again. They'll say you need to rest more and change the way you eat. But they ain't got no medicine to get you off of the street. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. That's what they say. Don't Don't be poor and homeless. Just live in a mansion. That's right. You got to get a mansion. That's what you got to do, homeless people. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. That's right. I keep adjusting. That's right. They want to blame the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless. While they continue to add to the problem, I'm telling you. Hey, you know, the sad thing is, this city council has done a worse job than Phil Brock. Under this new city council, the arrest of the homeless in Santa Monica has risen by 95%. And this past year, 75% of all of the arrests in Santa Monica were homeless human beings. And that's less than 1% of our population. And I told you, I don't know if I told you this, we met with the new Housing and Human Services Director. You know how everybody says, well, we're not responsible for all these homeless people because they come from all over the world to Santa Monica. They all want to live here in Santa Monica. And I said to this Housing and Human Services Director, I said, okay, how many are we responsible for here in Santa Monica? You know what the answer was? I'll have to get back to you on that. We don't know. Can you believe it? How you doing, Jerry? Good to see you. Peace.
I believe it.
Can you believe it? This is the new Housing and Human Services Director. And that's since we need to keep moving towards a better day. How are you doing, Tiffany? Good to see you. Peace. I'm working on it. Eddie, Freddie, Joey, Jimmy. I said Jerry. Good to see you, Jerry. But that's the sad situation we're in, is that we've gotten worse than when Phil Brock was in power here in Santa Monica about treating poor people and the homeless poorly, criminalizing poverty. They've done a worse job in this last 2 years while Phil Brock has been out of office, or a year and a half more. And it's a real shame. You would have thought that this new city council would have moved in a better direction, but instead they're moving in a worse direction, and that's why I have to run for Santa Monica City Council again. Is that not right, Freddie? Fred, how are you? Good to see you. So did you figure out who to vote for? Vote for Tom Steyer, okay? In California, for governor, vote for Tom Steyer. He's the only one who will raise taxes on the billionaires here in California, and we need to do that. That's a 5% wealth tax on the billionaires, and that's a great thing. 5% over 5 years they will do it, and we know that they don't want to say that they have any income. So many rich billionaires have gotten away without paying income tax because they say, well, I didn't take any income this year. I didn't make any money. I put it all back into my business, so I shouldn't be charged any income tax. So this California bill is a wealth tax on the billionaires, and it's a one-time tax over 5 years, and it will go to health care for the poor and education and other programs, and we need to make sure that that money is used for those things. We need a good accountant making sure that the money is used where it's supposed to go. Because Newsom didn't do that. Newsom, we gave him $24 billion, and he was supposed to build affordable housing.
Where is it?
Where's the housing, Newsom? Instead, he asked the Supreme Court to help him criminalize poverty here in California. That's right. In Grants Pass versus Johnson, our own governor asked Trump's ultra-conservative Supreme Court, he said, please help me criminalize homelessness so I can clean up our streets. And that's why things have gotten so bad these last 2 years. Because in the summer of 2024, the Supreme Court handed down a ruling called Grants Pass versus Johnson that made it easier for cities and states here in the West to criminalize poverty, criminalize homelessness. And that's a shame. And we need to stand up. You know, the interesting thing, did you know that because of that, the the state of Oregon, Ethan, I'm talking to you. The state of Oregon, they passed a law before that ruling came down, and they said that the city of Grants Pass, Oregon, could not just criminalize poverty for people that had a sleeping bag and a pillow. They made more restrictions for the city of Grants Pass, and that ruling was made for the city of Grants Pass, Oregon. But the state of Oregon passed laws. See, you don't have to follow everything that comes down from the Supreme Court. You don't have to criminalize everybody who's poor just because they're poor and homeless. You can change those laws right in your own state and in your own city. And that's a great thing that the state of Oregon did to make sure that poor people wouldn't be as criminalized as they would have been without any controls over the city of Grants Pass. Look it up. It's very interesting. That's the irony there, I'll tell you. You see what I mean? That's good that they did that, but our state went ahead with it and said, oh, no, we want to criminalize poverty. We want to criminalize homelessness. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do right here in Santa Monica. We need to pass a law saying, no, we're not going to criminalize poverty and homelessness without having some solutions, without having some safe spaces for homeless human beings to reside until we have some affordable housing or enough good quality shelters. You know, we could do that. And I will work towards that if I am elected here in 2026, because we need people who care about human beings and not just big business. There are way too many empty buildings here in Santa Monica, too many vacant buildings all around Santa Monica, all around Los Angeles County, all around California and the whole US of A. There should be no homelessness in this state, in this country. There are just too many vacant buildings. People just keeping buildings vacant so they can try to make a profit off of them down the road. They want to keep poor people sleeping in the streets so they have the property values keep going up. Oh, we'd like to build affordable housing, but it'll bring down our property values. That's what they've been saying for generations. You have a good night, Ethan. Good to see you. We got to keep standing up for the rights of these human beings because we've had way too many leaders blame them for being poor and homeless while they create the situation. Too many of our leaders say, don't be poor and homeless. Good night, Ethan. Don't be poor at all. We'll pull the chair beneath your seat and mock you when you fall. They'll tell you that you're crazy and you're on the drugs. They say you're mostly lazy and you're filled with bugs. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. All the rich folks want to help you if they could. So they'll take your tent and your bags and stuff and move them to another neighborhood. A little farther down the road would be good. That's what they used to do. They used to tell people to move their stuff down the road. Now they take all of their stuff and they give them a 60-gallon bag. That's right. They give homeless people a 60-gallon bag and they say, fit all of your possessions in that 60-gallon bag, and we're going to throw away the rest of your stuff because you're poor and homeless and you don't deserve to have things. You're poor and homeless, so we're going to take all of your stuff and put it in a dumpster except what you can fit in a 60-gallon bag. That is cruel and inhumane. And they give these people citations on top of it for pitching a tent or for sleeping somewhere they're not supposed to sleep in public. It's just a shame. How the rich folks want to help you if they could. So they'll take your tent and your bags and stuff and move you to another neighborhood. A little further, a little farther, a little farther down the road would be good. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't live in your car. They'll find a way to ticket you, no matter where you are. They'll say you're near a schoolyard or near a city park. They'll make you move your car all day and give you tickets while you're sleeping in the dark. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just live on a yacht. You got to get a yacht. You know what I mean? You know, the Rand Corporation just recently did a study. They say more homeless people their camps have been taken down. Their encampments have been torn down. And so more homeless people are living in what they call rough sleeping situations. That means they have a cardboard box that they sleep on, or they have a sleeping bag and a pillow, and they find areas where they won't be harassed, and they, stay a night or something. It's a harder life even than sleeping in tents. It's a more difficult life, and they already had a very hard life before that. So we're just making things harder for human beings here in Los Angeles County and in Santa Monica. We're not building affordable housing or more shelters, more shelter beds. We've incarcerated more homeless people over the last 2 years. In the city of San Francisco, the arrests of homeless people went up by 500% in the last 2 years. Here in Santa Monica, the arrests of homeless people have gone up by more than 95% over the last 2 years. They just don't care about people if they're poor and they're homeless. They want to get rid of them. That's what they want to do. Many people tell me that. They just want to get rid of the homeless people. They don't want to see them. They don't want to see any human beings that might be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and sick. They'll put you in the hospital. They'll spit you out real quick. They'll say you need to rest more and change the way you eat. But they ain't got no medicine to get you off of the street. So don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just live on a yacht. You gotta get a yacht, you know what I mean? Now the rich folks wanna help you if they can. So they'll start a race to outer space to help their fellow man. We're going to build affordable housing up on Mars. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor at all. They'll pull the chair beneath your seat and mock you when you fall. How you doing? Good to see you. They'll tell you that you're crazy and you're on the drugs. They'll say you're mostly lazy and you're filled with all kinds of bugs. So don't be poor and homeless. That's what they say. Don't be poor and homeless. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. Don't be poor and homeless. Just be rich. That's right, homeless people. Just be rich. We need to send all the homeless people to a Tony Robbins motivational research thing, motivational speakers program. That's right. We need to send all of the homeless people, all of the poor people, to a Tony Robbins motivational seminar. That's all they need. Just they need to learn how to make money. A lot of people say to me, they say, "Oh, these homeless people just need to get a job. That's what they got to do. They need to get a job." They don't realize many of the homeless people do have jobs and still can't find a place to live. Still can't afford a place to live, even with a job. If you have a minimum wage job here in Los Angeles County, you can't afford a place to live. And especially not here in Santa Monica. You're not going to find any place to live with a minimum wage job. We need to help people and lift people up out of poverty. We need to make sure we build more affordable housing right here in Santa Monica. And we need to have some safe spaces for homeless people to stay until they can find a place to live. That's right. We need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. We don't need to criminalize poverty and homelessness. We need to help lift people up. The great President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he was the president that brought us Social Security. Some people said that was communism back then, Social Security. Some people said it was socialist. A lot of people called him a lot of names, communist and socialist, and he was one of our greatest presidents ever. And he brought about programs like Social Security, and he brought a Gun Control Act in 1934, and also they brought other programs to build housing all across the country, and they brought unemployment insurance into play. And these were all programs of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, that's right. You know, in 1944, Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave a speech called The Second Bill of Rights. This was in 1944, and you can watch that speech today on YouTube. In this speech, Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, "It is time for a second Bill of Rights, where every American has the right to a job that pays a living wage. Every American has the right to a decent place to live." That was in 1944, he gave that speech. Every American has the right to health care. And every American has the right to a good education. And of course, he was talking about public education, because we can't all afford private schools, you know what I mean? He gave that speech in 1944, and we still haven't achieved those goals today. We need to keep working toward making sure that everybody can have the basics in this richest, most powerful country in the whole wide world. Because we live in the land of milk and honey. We got plenty and plenty and plenty and plenty. It's just a matter of spreading it around a little better. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy in this country. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. That's why we have to raise taxes on the rich. 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 And that's why I'm voting for Tom Steyer for governor of California, because he is the only candidate for governor who will say that he will raise taxes on the billionaires in the state of California. The rest of the candidates for governor are too afraid that the billionaires will leave our state. Oh, we can't raise taxes on the billionaires. We need them to stay because we need to kiss their butts. We need them to stay because if they leave, then what do? We're the fourth largest economy in the whole wide world. If some billionaires leave like Elon Musk did, let them leave, let them take their whole business, and then maybe the rents will go down, and maybe people will learn to make sure that everybody can have a decent place to live, food to eat, and health care, and a good public education. You know, we're the fourth largest economy right now in the whole world, That's right. If California was a country, we would be the fourth largest economy in the whole wide world. And yet, we're ranked 30th in spending on public education. What? What? We're ranked 30th in spending on public education, and we are the fourth largest economy in the whole wide world. We're ranked around 40th in the outcome of our public education, and that's a shame because we have some schools that are sending kids to academic Olympics and robotics championships, and then we have some schools that can't even keep the kids in the schools. We need to spend more and more money on those low-income area public schools until the rich people want to send their kids to those schools. We have to spend a lot more money on education right here in California. So we need to raise taxes on the rich. Get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. And Tom Steyer is the only candidate for governor who will get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. How you doing? Peace and love. Get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 and Tom Steyer because he's the only one who will vote for that Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Can you believe that? All these other so-called progressives won't raise taxes on the billionaires here in California. I'm ashamed of you, Katie Porter. I'm ashamed of you, Becerra. I'm ashamed of you, man. We need leaders. We need some leaders who will actually stand up for the poor and the homeless and the working poor and make sure that the rich people pay their fair share in the state of California. We're living in California with people of all kinds. Living in California, sure, I'll get a little bit out of our minds. Living in California, things could be a whole lot worse. Living in California, rest of the country's moving in reverse. Let's not follow them. Let's not follow them like we've been doing. Hey, how you doing, Enoch? We don't need to criminalize poverty and homelessness. We need to help lift people out of poverty and raise taxes on the rich. Raise taxes on the billionaires. Raise taxes on the billionaires. Vote for Tom Steyer. We're living in California with people of all kinds. We're living in California. Sure, I'll get a little bit out of our minds. Don't let the Trump get you in a slump. We'll get rid of his hump. We're going to be all right. We can get through it. Let's hope we get somebody in there who is a real progressive this time. We're in the land of surf and sand, movie stars, electric cars, and it's a beautiful Santa Monica night. We're living in California with people of all kinds. Living in California, sure, I'll get a little bit out of our minds. Living in California, things could be a whole lot worse. Living in California, rest of the country's moving in reverse. Let's not follow them. Living in California, everything's mostly all right. Living in California, I'm falling on the promenade tonight. Living in California, the place the whole world's dreaming of. Living in California, Go out and spread some peace and love. That's right, Thomas. Peace and love. That's right. Don't get me wrong. We got some great things going on here in California. We got Thomas. We got other people that want to help make things better for human beings. We have a lot of diversity here in California. California is the second most diverse state in the whole country behind Hawaii. But we got a lot of problems here in California that we need to work on because we haven't reached equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity yet here in California. It's still 10 times more likely for a young black man to go to prison in California than a young white man. That's a shame. We're the fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, and yet we're ranked 30th in spending on public education. That's a shame. We need to be spending more money on education. Spend more money on education. Spend less money on incarceration. Spend more money on education. Spend less money on incarceration. That's right. We need to spend a lot more money on education. And we need to integrate our society more here in Santa Monica and all of these rich communities. We need to build affordable housing so we can integrate instead of segregating. And we need to keep lifting people up out of poverty. Keep working towards a better day for everybody. Because we haven't gotten there yet. And we need to vote for Tom Steyer for governor. And we need to raise taxes on the billionaires. Raise taxes on the billionaires. Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. A lot of people say to me, well, Wade, if you raise taxes on the billionaires, they're all going to leave California. And I say, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Go follow Elon Musk over to Texas and take advantage of the poor people over there like Elon Musk is doing. We want billionaires who believe that human beings should be able to have the basics in California. That's right. We want billionaires here in California that believe that human beings shouldn't have to sleep in the streets for rich people. Thank you, thank you. I'll be sharing that with the homeless. Thank you. We want billionaires who believe that human beings should be able to have the basics while the rich people are having their space races. We can do both. And right now, we're not doing that. We're letting the billionaires have their space races, and poor people are sleeping in the streets. And poor people are being criminalized for sleeping in the streets. And we need to change that, California. We need to stand up for human rights right here in California. We're living in California with people of all kinds. Living in California, sure I'll get a little bit out of our minds. Living in California, things could be a whole lot worse. Living in California, rest of the country's moving in reverse. Let's not follow them. Let's vote for some real progressive leadership in this state and make sure that they follow through. Let's vote for Tom Steyer for governor and raise taxes on the rich. Raise taxes on the billionaires. Raise taxes on the rich. Raise taxes on the billionaires. We can do it right here in California. We don't have to wait for the federal government to raise taxes on billionaires here in California. I'm living in California with people of all kinds. Living in California, sure I'll get a little bit out of her mind. Living in California, things could be a whole lot worse. Living in California, rest of the country's moving in reverse. Living in California, the place the whole world's dreaming of. Living in California, go out and spread some peace and love. That's right. We got to keep spreading the peace and love, especially to those who are in need. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy here in this country. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. We have to do a better job of lifting people out of poverty instead of punishing poor people for being poor and homeless people for being homeless. That's not the answer. That's not the way to fix things. That's the way the conservative Republicans think we should do things. They think that all poor people should be put in jail or the poorhouse. But progressive Democrats need to stand up for the rights of human beings to have the basics in this richest, most powerful country in the world. We don't have to wait for the billionaires to say it's okay for us to be able to have the basics. We need to raise their taxes and make it okay for every poor person to have the basics. We don't have to ask the permission of the rich and the powerful. We can do it. It's part of our Constitution here in the United States. It's part of our Constitution to raise taxes when there's a terrible crisis, which if you're having people sleep in the streets and you're criminalizing them for sleeping in the streets, that's a human crisis. That's a human rights crisis. And that's why I'm running for Santa Monica City Council this year, because we can't stand by while a human rights crisis is going on and say nothing. And we need to stand up against racism and hatred whenever we see it, whenever we hear it. There was a Jewish couple that were attacked on this promenade this past week, right here on this promenade, and we need to speak out against such hatred and stand up and shout down hatred and racism whenever you hear it, whenever you see it. Stand up for the rights of everybody to believe as they will, to speak their mind. If you don't like what they're saying, that's fine. Shout them down. I had a guy come up to me the other night. He wanted to talk about abortion. He was saying it was murder. And I said, you have a right to believe that. And that is your right. You can say that. But I believe women have the right to choose to pick their own health care. Women's health care is up to women. And I don't care if you think it's some kind of travesty against your religion. We already made the laws in this country about that. People used to think that putting on rubbers was killing something. Oh, you can't do that because it's killing life. Oh, well, you know. People used to think that the pill was a terrible thing. It was against some religious beliefs because it was killing life. We got to let women choose their health care. They don't need to be told by men. But the thing is, on this public promenade, you can get out here and you can speak your mind. There was a guy talking about his religious beliefs right down here just tonight, earlier. You can get out here on this public promenade. Don't let the business owners think they own this public promenade. This is not the Grove. This is not Disneyland. This is a public promenade, 3 blocks of promenade for you to speak out and share your beliefs, your thoughts, without worry of retribution or violence. Nobody should worry about violence because of their race, their religion, their political beliefs. You can speak your mind, and people might shout things at you, but that's their right to do as well. And that's fine. You got to have a little tough skin, like those people in the civil rights movement, like John Lewis and Martin Luther King Jr. They got out and they spoke, and they were abused, and they were threatened, and they were violently abused and hurt, injured. And of course, Martin Luther King Jr. was killed. But they made great change in this country, and they practiced peaceful protest. You people that are trying to use violence to change things, you're wrong. You need to be told you're wrong over and over. There need to be some adults in the room that say, listen, no. You know, we used to, my friend Michael Walsh and Kevin Harkins and Ellen Bullinger and others in New York. I think Bobby Flanagan went with us once. We used to go out and protest in the rallies against the Iraq War back in the early 2000s when I was living in New York. And there were always some hotheads in the crowd saying, we gotta fight the police. We gotta fight the police. No. Peacefully protest. Work at peacefully protesting. Work at speaking out. Work at sit-ins, walkouts, boycotts, no violence. And you need to learn from the people of the civil rights movement because they made some positive change. And don't cheer assassins. Don't cheer on assassins or those who would use violence they think they're going to make some positive change through violence. No, that's not the American way. You got to peacefully protest and keep speaking out. Get involved. Use your voices. Use your votes. Get out and run for office like I'm doing right here in Santa Monica. That's right. I am running for Santa Monica City Council. I ran last time. Hello, my name is Wade Kelley.
Wade, I've heard of you, Wade.
Well, good. What's your name? Amber. Daniel and Amber, great to meet you. I'm running for Santa Monica City Council again because, you know, we need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. They're criminalizing poverty and homelessness right here in Santa Monica. I don't know, do you know about the Grants Pass versus Johnson ruling in 2024? The ultra-conservative Supreme Court of Trump, they handed down a ruling called Grants Pass versus Johnson in which they gave the Western states under the Ninth Circuit Court the right to criminalize poverty and homelessness. So somebody with only a sleeping bag and a pillow can be given a citation and arrested for public camping right here in Santa Monica, and they're doing it all over California. And our own Governor Newsom, he was one who asked the Supreme Court, I need the power to criminalize homelessness so I can clean up our streets. You know, since that happened, since the ruling in 2024, in San Francisco, the arrests of homelessness has risen by 500%. Yes, they put them in jail. A lot of the people they put in jail, sometimes they'll leave them for a little bit. Here in Santa Monica, the arrests since 2024 of homeless human beings has gone up by 95%. So what they do, they have some trailers over here in the Civic Center parking lot. They call it Samo Bridge. It's a Samo Bridge program. We're helping people. We're helping these people that have mental problems and drug problems. So we get them, they put them, and they can hold them for up to 72 hours in these trailers over here. Then they can send them, they can force them to go to programs that they think they need, or they can send them to jail. And then how is that helping these poor people that are already homeless and having a terrible situation? I was talking with one young man, Joe Manio. Good to see. I hope you're doing well. He plays the guitar. He went to Berklee College of Music, and he was here for a couple of weeks, and he was homeless for a few weeks, and he was sleeping in the park over here, and the police officer said, you can't sleep here in the park. It was about 5:30 in the morning. You can't sleep here in the park. You can go over to Samo Bridge, and they'll help you find some shelter. You know, there are no shelter beds available tonight in Santa Monica. What would I do? First of all, I wouldn't criminalize poverty and homelessness. All right. Second of all, I would find some safe spaces for homeless people to pitch a tent or to have a sleeping bag. You know, they used to have programs where they would use some of these parking structures late at night, where nobody's in any of those parking structures very late at night, or other places We got a big beach out here. I'm sure we could place quite a few tents on the beach out here and have a secure 24-hour restroom, maybe some good showers for people to use. What? How would this help them to come out of the poverty? These are good questions. That's right. This would be much better than sending them to prison. I'll tell you that. But anyway, we need to have more shelter beds, good shelter beds, for people to go. And we need more people to connect with these people, more social workers. We need more healthcare professionals helping these people. You know, they say, well, they're homeless because they're drug addicts or they're mentally ill. There are a lot of people that are mentally ill and that have drug problems that are in housing and they're doing fine. You know, if you are living on the street, your life expectancy, the life expectancy here in the United States is 79 years old. But if you are living on the streets, your life expectancy is 50 years old. So just by making sure that people have a place to go and a safe place to sleep, that's going to make a big difference. If you, what building more affordable housing? You know, Santa Monica has not built affordable housing. Okay. I'm running for Santa Monica City Council. I'm the only one of 11 candidates so far that I know of. I spoke at a forum a few weeks ago. The only one who would propose to use any of that Santa Monica Airport property to build affordable housing. There's an initiative out there to use 25% of that 192 acres of land. It's called the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. They would use 25% of that 192 acres to build 3,000 units of affordable housing. That would be more housing than Santa Monica has built in generations. And so, thank you. Amber, nice to meet you. Pete. Daniel, nice to meet you. Get involved, speak out, and look for some of these solutions because we can certainly have better solutions than criminalizing poverty, right? Okay, thank you. Peace. I hope to see you while I'm out there running for Santa Monica City Council this year. That's right. The answers are not always easy, but housing is the most important part. We gave our Governor Newsom $24 billion to build affordable housing. Where's the housing, Governor Newsom? We need to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. We need to build affordable housing. We need to have safe spaces for homeless human beings to go to without being threatened and arrested or just pushed down the road, as we've been doing here in Santa Monica, pushing them down the road into some program that may or may not help them and certainly doesn't make sure that they will have some permanent housing when they get out. There are too many better answers than the ones that we have been giving people. And so we need to keep working towards a better day. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We'll keep looking for the day when the clouds all roll away, but we better work on peace on earth down here. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace arrive? We'll keep waiting by and by for it to fall out of the sky, but we better work on peace on earth to help our children survive. Peace, oh peace. Peace, let's stand up and work for peace. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We'll keep looking for Nirvana, but I think we just might want to work on peace on earth down here. Peace, oh, peace. Peace, let's stand up and work for peace. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We can ask the universe to get rid of this war curse, but we better work on peace on earth down here. We'll keep waiting by and by for it to fall out of the sky, but we better work on peace on earth down here. We'll keep looking for the day when the clouds all roll away, but we better work on peace on earth. We better work on peace on earth. We better work on peace on earth down here. Woo! That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day because we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten to equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. These young people were asking, well, if you find a safe place for these homeless people to go, what's going to make them want to get out of being homeless? Well, I mean, if we can give them a decent place to live, they won't be homeless. If we make sure that everybody can have the basics in this richest, most powerful country in the world, they won't be homeless. So we won't have any more homeless people to worry about. We're going to have to make sure that human beings can have the basics as we move further and further into this technological era when more and more of our jobs are going to be going to robots and artificial intelligentsia. We got to stand up for human rights sometime. Sure, we can't have all of the answers. We're not going to make sure that everybody never has any problems in their lives, but we can make sure everybody has the basics. A decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good public education. That is not too much to ask in the richest, most powerful country in the world. And don't let them tell you it is. Oh, the rich people can't pay more taxes. Well, yeah, they can. If they're not paying enough taxes for poor people to have a decent place to live, and if the amount of taxes they are paying means that poor people have to sleep in the streets, then they're not paying enough, are they? It's like all those people that were working at Walmart. You know, they all had to have government subsidized everything because Walmart wasn't paying them enough. I don't know if they've raised the wages now or what. But if your company isn't paying enough for people to have the basics in life, and the government has to lift you up, then those people that are making a profit off of these workers aren't paying enough in taxes. That's why we need the rich people here in California to pay more. That's why we need Tom Steyer to be governor of this state, because he is the only one who will vote for the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. That's right, it's a 5% wealth tax on the billionaires here in California. We don't have to wait for the federal government to raise taxes on billionaires. We can do it right here. We're the fourth largest economy of the whole wide world. We have to step up and show that progressive government can make a difference in people's lives. We have to show that progressive government won't just criminalize people for being poor and homeless, but help lift them out of poverty. We got to work towards a better day for everybody and not settle for things the way they are. We can do it. We live in the land of milk and honey. There's plenty. No reason for poor people to be sleeping in the streets while rich people are having space races. We can do better. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. We don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. Oh, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. We don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. So listen, Lord, if you want to know. Oh, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love. We got a little bit of full moon up there. Let me see. Can you see it? It's up there somewhere. You can see it sort of. What? It was a night. Oh, what a night it was. It really was. Such a night. The moon was bright. Oh, how so bright it was. It really was. Such a night. The light was a night with the stars above. And when she kissed me, oh, fall in love. It was a night. Oh, what a night it was. It really was. Such a night. The moon was bright, oh, how so bright it was, it really was such a night. The night was a night with the stars above. And when she kissed me, I'd fall in love. It was a kiss. What a kiss it was, it really was. Such a kiss. How she could kiss, oh, what a kiss it was, it really was. Such a kiss. Just the thought of her lips sets me afire. I reminisce, I'm filled with desire. But I give my heart to her in sweet surrender. How I remember, I'll always remember that night. What a night it was, it really was. Such a night. Came the dawn and my heart hurt love and the night was gone. But I'll never forget the kiss in the moonlight. Such a kiss, such a night. What a kiss, what a kiss it was, it really was. Such a kiss. Came the dawn and my heart and her love and the night was gone. But I'll never forget the kiss in the moonlight. Such a kiss, such a night. When I get my heart to cry in sweet surrender, how I remember, I always remember that night. Oh, what a night it was, it really was such a night. When we kissed and fell in love. Now she's gone, gone, gone. Yes, she's gone, gone, gone. Came the dawn, 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 and my love was gone. But before that dawn, yes, before that dawn, and before that dawn, ooh, ah, yeah, was such a night. Do you want to dance in the moonlight? Squeeze me, hold me tight. Oh, baby, do you want to dance? I do want to dance. Sweet romance. Come on, baby, let's take a chance. Baby, do you want to dance? I do wanna dance, do wanna dance, oh baby, do you wanna dance? Do wanna dance? Do wanna dance, oh baby, do you wanna dance? Do you wanna dance, make sweet romance? Come on, baby, let's take a chance. Oh, baby, do you wanna dance? Yeah, I do, wanna dance. Do wanna dance? Oh, baby, do you wanna dance? I do wanna dance. Wanna dance? Oh, baby, do you wanna dance? Get out there and dance now, y'all. Hey, 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 yeah, hey. All right now. I do wanna dance. I do wanna dance. Oh, baby, do you wanna dance? I do wanna dance. Do wanna dance? Oh, baby, do you wanna dance? Do you wanna dance in the moonlight? Squeeze me, hold me tight. Oh, baby, do you wanna dance? Do you wanna dance in the moonlight? Come over, hold me tight. Oh, baby, do you wanna dance? Do you wanna dance? I do wanna dance. I love you for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. I give you my heart. I love you and you alone were meant for. Give your loving heart to me and say we'll never part. for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. I give you my heart. I love you, and you alone were meant for me. Please give your love and heart to me, and say we'll never part. I think of you every morning, dream of you every night. Darling, I'm never lonely. Whenever you're inside, I love you for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. I give you my heart. I love you for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. I give you my heart. I love you for sentimental reasons. And you know, never ever part. I think of you every morning, dream of you every night. Darling, I'm never lonely. Whenever you're inside, I love you for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. I give you my heart. I give you my heart. I give you my heart. When there's a full moon up there, I don't know if you can see it, hopefully. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. When the world starts to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita Bella. Hearts will play, tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay tarantella. When the stars make you drool, just like a pasta fazool, that's amore. How you doing, Mike? Getting by okay? You need anything? Okay, good to see you. When the stars make you drool, just like a pasta fazool, that's amore. When you dance down the street with the clouds at your feet, you're in love. If you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, signore. Scusami, buddy, you sit back in old Napoli, that's amore. When the stars make you drool, just like a pasta fazool, that's amore. When you dance down the street with the clouds at your feet, you're in love. If you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, signore. Scusami, buddy, sit back in old Napoli, that's amore, amore, amore. I love her when I'm near you, and I hear you speak my name softly in my ear. You breathe a flame. I love her when we're dancing, keep on glancing in my eyes. till love's own entrancing music dies. All of my future is in you. You're every plan I design. Say that you'll always continue to be mine. A lover, please be tender when your tender fears depart. Lover, I surrender to my heart. Lover, when we're dancing, keep on glancing in my eyes, till love's own entrancing music dies. They say the devil is in you, and to resist you I try, but if you didn't continue, I would die. Lover, please be tender when your tender fears depart. Lover, I surrender to my heart. You have a wonderful night. Thank you, peace. The evening trees, the evening breeze caress the trees tenderly. The trembling tree embraced the breeze tenderly. And you and I, wandering by, and lost in a sigh were we. The shore was kissed by sea and mist tenderly. I can't forget how lovers met breathlessly. Arms opened wide and wrapped me inside. You took my lips, you took my love so tenderly. And Jessie rose to see the morning sun through eyes of tears and red. Jessie sees that it's a lovely day. I can't see outside my head, but Jessie knows about tomorrow. And Jessie sees the future clear. Jessie knows in just another day I'll be gone, she'll be here. Jessie takes me through the afternoon, then she leads me into night. And she listens as I play my tune. When there's nothing, she's alright. Jessie carries all my sorrows. Jessie shares with me my joys. Jessie knows I'm bound to run away, 'cause she's my home and I'm her troubled boy. Jessie flies with the sun each morning. She hears me howl at the moon each night. She jumps into my bed without warning. She wraps me in her love and holds me tight. Jessie says we're gonna sail away to an island in the sea. And I tell her that that sounds okay, but my life's a mystery. And Jessie knows about tomorrow. Jessie sees the future clear. And Jessie knows in just another day I'll be gone, she'll be here. And Jessie flies with the sun each morning. Jessie, she hears me howl at the moon at night. She jumps into my head without warning. She wraps me in her love and holds me tight. Jessie says we're gonna sail away to an island in the sea. And I tell her that that sounds okay, but my life's a mystery. But Jessie knows about tomorrow. Jessie sees the future clear. Jessie knows in just another day I'll be gone, she'll be here. But Jessie knows. Ah, sweet Jessie Rose. That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day, keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. You know, this young people was asking me, well, what's the answer? You know, if we stop putting people in jail for being poor and homeless, what is the answer? What's going to make them want to have a decent place to live and to come out of homelessness? Well, having enough housing is the first answer. Building enough affordable housing and making sure that everybody can have a decent place to live in this richest, most powerful country in the world. We can do that. And we need to stand up against our leaders criminalizing poverty and homelessness, because that's the wrong direction. We need to move in a better direction right here in Santa Monica. Instead of sending poor people to jail for being poor and homeless, we need to be lifting people out of poverty. Oh, can I give you something? Can I just help you a little bit? How you doing tonight? Good. Peace. We can keep working towards a better day because we haven't gotten there yet. We can keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all, making sure that everybody can have the basics in this richest, most powerful country in the world. Standing up against racism and hatred whenever we hear it, whenever we see it. It doesn't matter your race, your religion, your ethnicity, your beliefs, your gender, whether you're rich or poor, whether you're housed or unhoused. We all have the same rights in this country, and we need to stand up for those rights. And we need to shout down people that would take away those rights from people. We need to shout down those that would discriminate against people because of their beliefs or the way they look or whether they're rich or poor. We need to speak up for the rights of every human being here in this sometimes great democracy. We got to keep working at it, you know. We haven't gotten there yet, so we got to keep moving forward, just like the people at the very beginning of this country. They hadn't gotten there yet. They hadn't gotten to a more perfect union. They were still working on it. And we're still working on it today, and we got to keep moving it forward. Push the ball a little further forward and let the next generation keep moving forward. But we have to show them how. We have to stand up and show them that progressive government can help lift people up and make a difference in people's lives. We don't want a government that says, oh, everything's fine just the way it is. Rich people are doing great. We're breaking records on Wall Street every day, so we don't have to worry about anything. Everything's fine. No. Keep working towards a better day. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. There you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs. And there you were. With sweet love and devotion. Sweetly touching my emotions. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I go to sleep at night, wondering where would I be without you in my life. Everything to me was just a bore. Everything I did seems to have done it all before. You brighten up for me all of my days. Love so sweet in so many ways. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Needed someone, there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs. And there you were. With sweet love and devotion. Sweetly touching my emotions. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Thank you, Pete. I'll be sharing that with some others. Thank you. Have a great night. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Peace and love. Thank you. Have a great night. Peace.